Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bebo. In this video, we're going to continue talking about percent problems, and in this video, we're going to specifically look at problems that are asking us to find the part. I'm going to once again show you two different methods, using a percent proportion and also using a percent equation to solve this type of problem. So taking a look at our first example, what number is 120% of 70? So with this question, just like last time, I really advise to my students to underline the different parts to the question. So I always look for the percentage first, because usually it's going to say what percent. So that's pretty easy to identify that that's the percent that we're looking for. Or it's going to have the percent sign on the number. So for example, in this problem, I can see that my percentage right here, there's my p-value, right? Percent. Then I tell my students to look for what it's out of. So look for the keyword of. It's of 70, so that's going to be W. And we're trying to find the part. What number is? What is a portion of 70, right? A certain portion of it, in this case 120%. When we set up my proportion, we're going to do A out of W, so the part out of the whole, where again, A is the unknown value right now, out of 70 is equal to the percent, so 120 out of 100. Then after we have our proportion set up, it's just a matter of doing cross products. So we're going to do A times 100, 70 times 120. So we're going to have, I'm going to run out of space, 100A equals, and then 70 times 120, you can think of that as 7 times 12, so that's 84 plus the 2 zeros, so 8400. And then one last step to solve this one-step equation that we're left with here, and that's to divide both sides by 100. And so we find that the part, in this case, is 84. Now, one thing we do want to make sure is that our answers seem reasonable. If we're looking at a number that is 120% of 70, 120% is greater than 100%, right? So 100% of 70 would be 70. So my answer, if you're looking for 120% of 70, it should be greater than 70. So this answer does seem reasonable for what we're working with here. So that's just a quick just thing to note. Always check to make sure that your answer seems reasonable for what we're working with. All right, so let's take a look at the second one. The one that says 75% of 124 is what number? So again, let's start by identifying what the percent is. Look for that percent sign. So 75%, that's my percent. What is it out of? In this case, it's out of 124, so that's going to be W. And then is what number? We don't know. That's what I'm trying to find. When I set up my proportion, we're once again going to do A out of W. Again, we don't know what the part is, so that's why I'm writing it as a variable. It's out of 124, and then that equals the percent out of 100. Once you have your proportion set up, to solve this, we're going to do cross products. We're going to do A times 100, 124 times 75. 100 times A is just going to be 100A. And then 75 times 124 is going to give us 9,300. And then to solve this, we're going to divide both sides by 100. And we end up with a final answer of 93. So there's two examples using a proportion to find the part in a percent problem. We're going to take a look at these next two problems using an equation. Students tend to like using the equation a lot for these questions when you have to find the part, and you're going to see why in just a moment. So again, before we jump into setting up the equation, we actually need to identify what each variable is going to be. So on this question, if I take a look here, what number is 24% of 80? My percent is that 24% there. It's of 80, so that's going to be W. And then what number is? That is your part that you were trying to find. With our equation, remember it's going to be A equals P times W. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just rewrite out that equation just so we can see how this is going to be set up. And this is why students love this method so much for, again, when we find the part, because you're just going to be plugging in P times W. Be careful though, because our percentage, remember if you're going to use the equation, this does have to be changed into its decimal form. So 24 hundredths is the same thing as 24%. So we're going to do 24 hundredths times W, and then it's just a matter of multiplying those two values together. So if we type into our calculators or we do some long multiplication, 24 hundredths times 80 is going to give you an answer of 19 and 2/10. And then that's it. So students love the equation for these because, again, it's just a single one step. Multiply your percent by the whole. Just make sure that we change that percent into a decimal. So we're going to take a look at one more here. So again, identify the different parts to your problem. So we'll start with the percent. 20%, that's my percent. What is it out of? It's out of 150. So that's W. And then that would mean the is what number? That's what I'm trying to find, right? The part. Once again, with this equation, A equals P times W. Super nice because we're just going to be plugging in 20%, but again, as a decimal. So this is going to be 2/10 or 20 hundredths. If you don't want to drop the 0, you are more than welcome to leave it like that. It's not going to make a difference. I'm going to go ahead and just write it as 2/10 and then times 150. And then we're going to just multiply that out. 2/10 times 150 is going to tell you that the part is 30. And that's it. So hopefully that helps clear up a few things on how to find the part when solving a percent problem. Thanks for watching.